Hey everybody, Iron Obi here, and I'm back after quite a long hiatus in moving to a new place and getting everything else set up, and sort of the slow season of Destiny we're kind of in at the moment. My room is not, or at least the recording room's not, probably tampered with yet, so everything may come out a little echoey, but hopefully it's going to get fixed in the next coming weeks as I get supplies and stuff to stop that from happening. But I wanted to discuss really quickly, not a super long video, about the recent discussion coming out for Skull and Bones, which is a game that I've been looking forward to since, I think, 2018, 2017, when we first, knew anything about it, and, I think they showed off, it's a leaked, 11 minutes of gameplay, and it was basically, a looter shooter, but with the boat fighting mechanics from Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which I loved when it came out. As a premise, I loved everything about it. I was like, this is great. I would love something to compete for my time as with Destiny. I think I'm a looter shooter guy, and I want that trend, for me at least, to keep going. I don't want the industry to kind of give up on that in some cases if it's done well and it's unique, again, Skull and Bones, which is kind of a unique game and, hasn't really had anything else like it in the looter shooter genre. But this discussion I've been seeing coming up when it comes to pirate games, really the only real pirate game out there right now is Sea of Thieves. And Sea of Thieves is in its 7th season. I forget how long it's been out, but it's been out for a while. And they just had a recent season start up. But there's discussion about, a lot of people are like, Skull and Bones is inferior to Sea of Thieves because Sea of Thieves, you can walk on your islands. I've played Sea of Thieves. Here's to let you know that even after all the content they've added, the novelty of being able to get off the ship sort of wears itself out after a while. At least for me it did. For me, and I've done videos in the past on Sea of Thieves, Sea of Thieves was an incredibly underwhelming product for me. It's not at all what I wanted from a pirate game. It had, at launch, it was missing key features, like the most recent Season 7 or whatever season they're in right now. One of their big selling points is you can name your ship. That's not a basic feature. You couldn't name your ship. Trust me, as far as I'm concerned, Sea of Thieves is not the game. It's not the pirate game for me. I'm not saying it's not the pirate game for anybody else, or anybody else can't enjoy it. But for me personally, I just can't get back into it. There's nothing worse than going on a 3-hour treasure haul to just have some doofus and his best friends haul you away and destroy your ship while you're trying to explore the islands and the amazing. I'm not a hyper competitive person, but I was always one of those people that when I go to an island, I would never take the time really to go whoa, look at the world, because I was so pressured to get what we needed from the island, get off the island, and turn it in for currency or rep or whatever we were grinding for in Sea of Thieves at the time. And I like that to an extent. In some cases, I think it's fun and interesting. Again, when it comes to, the Dark Zone, which is really where this all comes, that kind of mentality comes from. The Dark Zone from Division 1 and I guess Division 2, where it's that sort of high stakes, get what you can and get out. Skull and Bones will have that type of system, but it never feels like, it will never feel like I'm going to leave the ship, and not only am I A, focusing on what I'm trying to do on the island, but B, I'm also constantly in the back of my head, there's a nagging thing we gotta go, ship could be in danger, I gotta go, grab what we want, let's dig out what you can, let's move it as fast as we can. And I never liked that high pressure. I would like to have a pirate game that's just fun, kind of maybe a little bit laid back, a little bit competitive, and I don't have to worry about something in the back of my mind just going what's going on over there? I can't see it, what's happening? And I never liked that about Sea of Thieves. Now, if they had a PvE-only server, or if that was ever a thing for Sea of Thieves, I'd be all in for it, because then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But again, I've heard, everyone's like, don't do that, that's different, why would they do that, the PvP is so good. I'm not a big fan of the PvP. To me, the ship stuff is fine, but I feel like that rarely happens. I feel like most engagements are people just launch themselves to another person's ship and basically just cause chaos, climb in the water, climb up the ladder, and just try and cause chaos on the ship. They don't really try and do the ship-to-ship combat. That's my experience with Sea of Thieves after, again, 3 years of playing the game. And I don't like that. I thought the combat, the hand-to-hand combat in Sea of Thieves is not good. I mean, sorry. Like, I know people are like, well, it's quaint, it's weird. No, it's bad. It's not very good at all, in my opinion. Maybe it's for somebody else, but it's not for me. So, Skull and Bones, for me, is something I'm very much looking forward to, as we don't have many pirate games. They don't happen. It's just like a genre that does, like Western games. Like, that's just a genre that doesn't really exist anymore. So, I'm not gonna probably even try to compare the two games, because honestly, they're both pirate games, but they're both different genres of games. Skull and Bones is more of a sort of, maybe even not even really competitive, but a looter shooter type of customize your ship, and you do, I don't know, raids or whatever they'll have as end game content, and you'll sail around the world and maybe sink ships and do that kind of stuff. Where Sea of Thieves has added a lot of content, but that's not really the objective of Sea of Thieves. If you talk to really any hardcore Sea of Thieves players, they'll probably just say, I play Sea of Thieves because I enjoy it. I love Sea of Thieves. I can play it with my friends, we can goof around, and that's fine. And that's okay. That's just not the type of game for me. So Skull and Bones for me is something that I'm vastly looking forward to. I know a lot of people are looking forward to. Also, I've been seeing discussions about, well, they're launching it near God of War Ragnarok, so of course it'll fail. The people who are probably gonna play Skull and Bones, or are looking forward to Skull and Bones, maybe don't have God of War Ragnarok on their list of things they even care about or want to play, or like, and the people who want to play God of War Ragnarok probably don't care about Skull and Bones. So these are big companies, and they probably know where they're putting games. But just like, oh, well, it launches near this, it's clearly gonna fail. That's never an indication of anything. So we'll see. I mean, the looter shooter genre hasn't really had a new influx of blood since Outriders. Even that was a while ago. I'm looking forward to Skull and Bones and all the things that come with it. Hopefully it'll be what I want it to be, and not necessarily what, I don't know, people who play Sea of Thieves want it to be. Because point is that if you're playing Sea of Thieves now and you love Sea of Thieves for what it is, Skull and Bones is not going to pull you away from that in any way, shape, or form. It's just not going to happen. Maybe you'll dip your toe in, but at the end of the day, you're probably like, no, I just like the aesthetically pleasing Sea of Thieves, and I like the sailing and the goofing around. I like that about Sea of Thieves, and that's fine. For me, I think it's going to be Skull and Bones going forward. I'm looking for something else to really bite into, and I think it'll I'll be able to do that with Skull and Bones, and I know a couple of people who are going to be interested in playing it, but we'll see. I've been waiting for it for a long time, and we'll see if it pans out or not. But those are my little rant, really quick going forward. Just wanted to put out a video about my thoughts on Skull and Bones. I'll probably cover it pretty liberally in the 4 months up to release. That's the timing of the filming of this video, so we'll see if any new information comes out. Maybe some beta. I know they're running a beta, which you can sign up for on their website. But yeah, I guess the end of the message is play whatever pirate game you want to play, because you're not wrong in playing it. So, alright guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.